Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. It's Wednesday. Let's do it. It is Head to Headlines, where you decide the content of the show based on the headline alone. For example, last week we had Head to Headlines. It's all on the podcast. You can go find it there, of course, and go back and relive the story that you chose when you decided the content of the show. And last week's headline was a doozy, which was, warning after millions of bees escaped overturned truck in state of Washington. That was a great story. But today's stories, we'll lay them out for you. The headlines narrowed down from hundreds of funny headlines. And these are the top two. Now remember, we'll never talk about the other story again, so choose wisely on the text line. You text in headline 1 or headline 2. Headline 1 is, grandfather disarms now former DoorDash driver who returned to Vancouver home with gun, seeking larger tip in cash. It tells a lot. That's a long headline. I'm not sure if it's the whole story or not, but there must be more.
That feels like something you would do if you were a DoorDash driver.
I'd like to see my person that would not tip me enough.
What?
In that situation.
What did you say?
I sound like Yoda for a second. I want to see the person's face that didn't give me enough money on a tip. I would not take a gun. I'm not going that far.
Okay.
Okay.
So let's do that headline one more time. Grandfather disarms now former DoorDash driver who returned to Vancouver home with gun, seeking larger tip in cash. That's headline number 1. But don't text in yet because you got your headline 2, which is British Airways flight attendant found naked and dancing in business class toilet. British Airways flight attendant found naked and dancing in business class toilet.
Business class, that's not bad.
I guess so. So,
Had to add that. What a bougie ass.
headline 1 or headline 2, you decide which story we break down. Text in right now, headline 1 or headline 2. You decide the content. We'll never talk about the other story again. Brian and Kenzie, Q101.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Now is your chance to win a trip for 2 to Las Vegas for the When We Were Young Festival. Message and data rates apply. Please don't text and drive.
Q101.
Well, before we complete head-to-headlines, get to this. Text, and remember the right number to text this to, 95819. Text BLINK to 95819 right now. You've got about 12 minutes left to do it for a chance at a trip to the When We Were Young Festival, featuring Blink, Panic! At the Disco, Weezer, The Offspring, Avril Lavigne, All Time Low, The Used, and so many more. It's a VIP trip. You get 2 nights at the Resorts World, 2 VIP tickets for the show, flights presented by our great partners and friends, 7-Eleven. So text BLINK, B-L-I-N-K, to 95819 right now if you haven't. If you already did this earlier, don't do it again. Only once you get in each day, and we give you that keyword each day. So BLINK to 95819. Get on it right now. Now back to Head to Headlines, the conclusion. It's been a long one because it was really so close to choose, and you decide the content. We want to make sure it's fair by texting in headline 1 or headline 2. And these are the funniest headlines of the week. We narrow it down to 2, and then you decide the content, which story we break down. And headline 1 was, grandfather disarms now former DoorDash driver who returned to Vancouver home with a gun, seeking a larger tip in cash. Whew. It's a long headline. A lot of information there. Headline 2 was, British Airways flight attendant found naked and dancing in business class toilet. And I think nudity prevailed here.
Nudity did.
Is that right? Because it's just, I think everybody finally figured out that they understand the first story from that long, detailed headline, and whatever else is added can't be as exciting as what's added to a naked person dancing in a business class toilet.
And it's the start of a trend, because if you think about the president of the art museum here, he was just naked on a plane.
Yeah.
Now,
Why does this keep happening?
This man's naked on a plane. All of a sudden, everybody's naked on planes.
Now, that guy at the Art Institute got his $1 million a year job back.
He did.
No questions asked about getting naked on the plane. Let's find out what happened here. It's Head to Headlines, Brian and Kenzie on Q101. So, British Airways flight attendant found naked and dancing in business class toilet. Here we go. A naked British Airways crew member was discovered dancing in business class. It's the wrong music. I don't need dance music here.
You need dance music?
I don't know. I hope for maybe some Sly and the Family Stones.
Yeah,
report.
Kenzie, thank you. Do the dance music, Kenzie.
A naked British Airways crew member was just, you're supposed to keep going.
The whole time?
Yeah, the whole time you got to beatbox.
Okay, well, let me make sure. Is it the right level over your voice?
A naked British Airways crew member was discovered dancing in a business class toilet on shift mid-flight after allegedly taking drugs.
Kenzie's turning purple.
I know, stop. It's okay.
I can't breathe.
It's okay.
You need one of those drop-down things on the plane, a
God.
bag to breathe into.
I didn't get to hear anything you said.
Do you have a new respect for beatboxers?
I don't know how people beatbox. I don't get it.
Yeah, now you learn. It's a skill.
You've been slamming them for years. It's nice you finally
Yeah,
respect.
I never disrespected a beatbox.
Fbeatboxers.org, that belongs to you. I know it does. Here we go. A naked British Airways crew member was discovered dancing in a business class toilet while on shift mid-flight after allegedly taking drugs, according to reports. The Sun reported the steward was supposed to be serving meals to passengers on a recent flight from San Francisco to London. Wow, what a flight.
What a flight to miss the meal. That's a long flight.
San Francisco to here is like 5 or 6 hours. Then you got to go
Now I'm a bitch about it.
Good Lord. Then you got to go like 7 more to London? Unless they go over the Earth. I don't know if they go over the top.
Over the earth.
If they go like toward the North Pole. Do they go over from San Francisco?
What do you mean over the earth?
Over the Earth.
Look, I'm the guy that wants to ask how we're in the Earth but on the moon.
Yeah.
And even I don't understand what you're saying.
Like with San Francisco, would you fly this way toward us, Chicago, then
What
go on
way?
the what?
Are you what way?
East.
You
East.
can't just say this. You didn't even hand gesture.
You know where San Francisco is. You know where we are. We're east of them.
Barely. Okay.
So do they,
My problem is that I'm always in my mind facing north. So
Okay.
the
but
only
you're
way I
not.
can go south is if I'm walking backwards.
how are you always going north?
Because that's forwards on the compass. So I'm like, if I'm standing right where I'm standing right now, San Francisco would be to my left. But like, I don't know, that could be wrong, I suppose.
You'd be in Manitoba by now if you were always facing north.
I'm always facing north.
Anyway, it's a long-ass flight.
Do you want to know how long?
How long is it?
10
How
hours.
long is it?
Thank you, sir.
Oh.
10 hours, 30 minutes.
Gee, it seems longer than that it would be because whatever. It's,
Okay, you fly.
Or
a
maybe
plane.
they flew over the earth.
if they did, they saved time. All right, so let's back to the story. When the double-decker Airbus A380-800 was searched, it is claimed that an in-flight crew member discovered, him naked. I think everybody thought when it was naked it was going to be a female flight attendant
Why did you go on?
because I wanted a woman.
Why? You're not even on the plane.
I don't want a naked man on the plane.
Oh, that's awful to think about.
Gross. This
Brian's
totally,
like, let's not do the story. Let's do the other headline.
this totally changes the story.
Do you want to end the segment now?
Kinda. Does anybody else care about a naked man?
I'd like to hear the naked man out.
Oh. All right.
What is wrong with you? What did you think she was going to come sit on your lap in the middle of the story?
I just thought it was a woman. Okay. Okay, they discovered him naked.
Why did you think it was a woman?
Because it's a flight attendant and most are women. There's a lot of men on there too, but most are women. Let's be honest. I've flown a couple times. They were all women the last couple times I've
my
flown.
God.
You're keeping track, right?
I've had tons of male flight attendants.
There's tons. I get it, but most are women, I think. What's the percentage case of the breakdown if I'll look that up?
All right, you keep reading the story. I'm going to get back with some flight attendant data.
Okay, so when he was discovered naked dancing in the Club World cabin toilet, which sounds like a really nice toilet, the staff reportedly dressed their colleague in a spare pair of pajamas used for first-class passengers. We'll stop right there. They
Hand out pajamas?
Well, it's a 10.5-hour flight, but they must get pajamas to change into in first class?
Where do they even change into those?
I guess that first-class bathroom that's huge and glorious.
Wow.
You ever sat in first class, Kenzie?
No, I've never been in first class.
Oh, boy. I can see you also getting in there and then getting removed somehow.
I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving.
It is a different world. I've talked my way in the first class, and the drinks are free.
A female flight attendant, you talk your way up there?
Hey.
What do you mean
Listen,
you talked
baby.
your way- You're so full of crap. You talked your way into first class.
Do you want to hear this story? I got a story for you.
Is it quick? Can you make it quick
I'll
and
make it
not
quick.
lie the whole time?
Somebody told me that if you work in media, like in radio, this is back in the day, that you could ask for media courtesy and they'd put you in first class. This is the good old days when if they had a seat open, they would give it to you if you asked nicely. And so I went up there and I said, I'm not trying to be an idiot, but I work for Q101. Is there any openings in first class there for me, maybe? And the woman looked at me like I was an idiot and said, I've never heard of that before, but you know what? Why don't I check? Maybe it is something we do. And she put me in first class, Kenzie. If you just ask nicely half the time, sometimes people take care of you. Now they charge you.
Don't you feel like she did that thing that you see in TV shows where she was just like, put him in a different seat, not in first class? He's like, oh, yeah, this is much nicer.
Back of the plane, baby.
Yeah. She's like, this is it, sir.
Right by the toilet. Perfect.
Easy access. You're welcome.
That's all I got in first class.
If you want some flight attendant data real quick.
Yes.
86% of flight attendants, this is according to CareerExplorer.com, which I trust with my heart, 86% women, 14% man.
That's what I'm saying. So I expected a woman naked and not a man. So it ruined the story a little bit.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So they dressed him in pajamas because he was naked, and some first class.
Why did they just put him back in his flight attendant suit?
Good question. We'll see if they answer
He
that.
took clothes off.
Wait till you hear what happens next. So they put him in pajamas, and some first-class passenger got screwed out of pajamas, by the way, before buckling him into a first-class seat where he stayed for the remainder of the 10.5-hour trip. They strapped him in.
Well, it sounds like he just got first-class service. Maybe I should dance naked on a plane.
Hell, now we're talking. Hell yes. Let's go.
You got
I
the
was like, I
Facebook
heard when
password.
this happens, you get upgraded.
The 41-year-old man, it wasn't even a 21-year-old man, a 41-year-old flight attendant guy. That means
Oh, now he's not young. So now you're sexist and ageist? You're
Yes.
going to hit both in this story?
probably wasn't hot. I don't know. A little saggy. Sags start coming in at 40. So they strapped him in, and he was arrested on suspicion of being unfit for duty. I think if allegedly drugs and getting naked is probably that. The force said that officers were called by cabin crew over concerns of the welfare of a man. When the plane landed, he was taken to a hospital for treatment before being arrested and later released, and he's probably fired. It's too bad. Officers arrested him and received medical attention. He was arrested on suspicion. They keep saying the same thing over and over again in the story.
So there's no, I have a question. There's no video cameras in the bathrooms, right? How did they know he was in there dancing naked?
Maybe
How do you know
there-
what he was doing?
Maybe there is cameras in there. I don't know. I didn't think of that.
You know what I mean? Like, how do you know what he was doing in the bathroom?
Yeah.
Because if I were him, I would have just lied and been like, I got dizzy, I passed out, I was in the middle of changing, and I fainted. Like, why couldn't he just lie?
Maybe. I don't know. Can you dance naked and not sing? Maybe he was singing too.
That's the thing.
Can I I think I could give it a shot, Brian. Oh my
That's
God.
the answer I was looking for.
Because if I was gonna dance naked, I wouldn't do it quietly. I'd let people know
What does that mean? What would you do?
I'm naked and I'm dancing, and you'd hear that from the bathroom and go, "I'm a naked guy dancing in the bathroom."
I don't want to see it.
You would say, what are you, elf? Why would you say what you're doing? Why would you narrate your song?
Because I'd be pumped up.
Ay. And people aren't good enough liars. You know what I mean?
No, what do you mean?
Like in this scenario, like you should just be like, oh my God, I've got so disoriented. Like then it's like a health concern, not in trouble.
Well, it sounds like he was on drugs too, so that affects his judgment and lying, I guess.
I know. You think you would have sweated out after dancing for an hour in the bathroom?
Well, there you go. There's your head-to-head lines with Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We'll have some Halsey tickets at the end of music and entertainment news. Huge turnstile news dropped right here on Q101 yesterday. Can say unequivocally this is a band that I discovered. No, in all honesty, boy, Case is out there on the streets and told me about Turnstile 5-6 years ago, I feel like at this point.
Yes.
And then they played Lala, and then they played Riot Fest, but you saw them before they were big. And now
I
they're
did.
certainly having a moment now, this band. They are incredible. Turnstile, the Never Enough Tour, announced Friday, September 26th. So Friday, September 26th at Huntington Bank Pavilion at Northerly Island. Is that the Well, I guess Riot Fest and Lala are the biggest stages they've been on. Riot Fest, they were on quite a main stage. At Lala, they were on a stage probably not big enough for them.
No, they were on a side stage at Lala. That was 2022. So, the crowd they played at in front of Riot Fest would have been bigger, but this is far and away the biggest headlining show they played in Chicago.
So you've got pre-sale tickets going on sale today at noon with the code TREBLE. The general on sale is Friday at 10 a.m., and this will be epic. I can't say the name of the second band performing.
So the band, I'm not going to sound it out, but the band is Mannequin P, the P word.
You know what the P word is, Kenzie? Don't say it.
Oh, yeah. Ussy.
Thanks.
Thanks for that.
What? No, I texted Case and I said, "Oh, you're gonna get some. I see you're gonna get some Ussy in September." And he's like, "Stop it."
Yeah, I said, "Stop that." That is a good band, despite their name, which is jarring. A very good band. They have a song called "Drunk 2," like the number 2. That is a scorcher. It's a banger. I can't wait to see that in Northerly Island.
Then Speed and Jane Remover,
Yes.
and an incredible show again with Turnstile. Just love these guys having their moment because they deserve it. They've grinded for so long, and they're so good.
Not to do a cheap plug, but to do a cheap plug, I do an interview series for Q101's YouTube channel called A Case For, in which a lot of bands that will one day headline major festivals, I interview them right when they're starting out. Speed is a band that I talked to last year. If you've never heard a note of their music, maybe you've never heard of them, that's okay. I would recommend taking 15 minutes of your day today, going to our YouTube channel and watching A Case For Speed. You will fall in love with the infectious energy these guys have. They're a very heavy band. I mean, they're a hardcore punk band from Sydney, Australia. They are the nicest guys in the world. They are the guys that you want to root for, and I think it's so cool that they're on this tour.
That's going to be a
Do
show.
they have an accent when they're like yelling?
They have a super thick accent when they're yelling.
That's funny. I didn't even hear what that sounds like. I don't know if I could be like.
I don't think it comes out very well when they're in the scream part.
It can. They're also the only heavy punk band I've ever heard use a flute in their recordings. They've got a song with a flute in it that's badass.
I'm trying. I probably shouldn't try to find a clip here at this time for Speed.
I don't feel like now's the time to do that. I mean, you can try, but they might be swearing up a storm.
That's what I'm worried about. I better not do it.
Like, like, good on ya!
I just want to satisfy Kenzie's urge to hear something. If there's a song Casey think is kind of safe from Speed.
I don't know. I mean, you can try it. The only reason Brian is nervous is 2 years ago he played a clip from Varsity Blues live on the air without listening to it first, and it was immediate cuss words. It was immediately words you can't say on the air.
I forgot that Billy Bob said effing 10 instead of just, Miss Davis, you're a 10. You're a 10. And I
The
forgot
fact
the
that you
effing.
forgot all the F words in in your mind is unbelievable.
Yeah, it wasn't good. Wasn't my proudest moment.
He just raw dogged that audio.
I just really want to play it.
Do you want to try it?
Well, we're in delay. I can push a dump button if
Okay.
someone swears. I just want Kenzie to get satisfied if there's an Australian accent in the.
He's like, I'm going to pick this song called F Ya.
Well, Case, this is called The First Test, and the flute is in this song.
Yeah, that. I feel like there's
Not that one.
I feel like there's swearing
Well, let me
in
Google
that
the
song.
lyrics. What's it called?
The First Test.
Okay.
And while she's doing that, how about Not That Nice?
What's the name of the group again?
Speed?
Definitely don't play Not That Nice.
All right.
That song's gonna use.
This
some
is
cuss
going to be
words.
futile. This is just enjoy the band. Go listen to them.
Hold on. I got to Google the lyrics.
Give me some of the lyrics, and then we want to get to your mood review.
So it starts with move it, feel the violence, smell the fumes, see the fear in their eyes. I got to be careful just reading this.
Yeah, you know what? I don't want to get you in
Life
trouble.
is ugly, life is beautiful. Oh, so you're good for at least the first 6 lines of the song. You're not good. Hold on.
I
1,
can't just
2,
do 6.
3.
I can't because they're fast, these hardcore
After
songs.
the word truthfully, you better turn it off.
Okay, should I try it then? So
yeah,
it's the
just do
first
it.
test you were doing those lyrics?
I'm afraid there's a super long instrumental at the start of the song. I'm trying to
So
remember
when
that
you
now.
hear the sentence, which is like the 5th sentence of the song, with nowhere to hide, find peace being truthful, you need to stop immediately after that.
Case is right, though. The problem is there's kind of a pit in the beginning of the song that I'm not sure the music's playing because I can't bring it up without putting it on the air. And there might be, that might
Well,
be
you
where...
can see how long. Like, what do you mean?
Let me
Do
try.
a
You wanna
lyric
try it?
video on YouTube so you know what's coming.
No, I always go to the official videos. I don't do the lyric videos.
Oh, you can also type in like radio version. Maybe
They don't. Their songs aren't on the radio.
Okay, I'm going to try it, and if we do this thing called dumping, it means that somebody swore. It takes this, you'll hear this weird gap on the air. So let me try it right
Okay,
now.
hold on, pull it up.
This is the band playing with Turnstile, and those tickets go on sale today at noon that's the pre-sale code TREBLE, and then the general on
So
sale
this
is
is
Friday
the
at 10.
first test. You're gonna play the first test.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
Okay, again.
I'm too scared. I can't go anymore. I can't do
That
it.
was move it. You have about 2 more
I
lines.
can't
You're
do
gonna
it. Can't do it. Can't do it. I panicked. It's really good. Can't do it.
I was wondering how fast they'd get there, though.
No, it's a fast song. It's a minute 58,
It's a fast
the
song.
This is no free bird. The chorus comes in the first 10 seconds.
Give me like 3 seconds.
Nope.
Like, I'm scared.
Nope, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay. Well, that was Speed.
That was it. Whew. I'm actually sweating over here.
All right.
The responsibility in this chair.
That was fantastic.
All right, Kenzie, I want to hear about, you saw the Materials last night.
Yes.
And we have Halsey tickets too, but we're up against it. So we come back here because Jamie in Brookfield is dying to see this movie, Materialists. And everybody's talking about it lately. And we love movie theaters again. This show does. We love going to the movie theaters. So thanks for checking in from Brookfield. Kenzie's review of it coming up here in 6 minutes, plus those Halsey tickets. So stay here.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Extended version of music and entertainment news. A lot of people waiting for those Halsey tickets. The Halsey tickets are coming after we hear from Kenzie, who went out in the town last night to see Materialists. Upcoming, and this was a special premiere because the movie opens this weekend, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
it comes out on Friday, so I was really lucky to go a couple days early. I went to the AMC theater last night. You know that New City, like that complex that they have right in the middle with the theater?
Yeah.
And it was awesome. It was such a great screening of the movie. I have been on the edge of my seat waiting for this movie to come out. I was so excited to see it. Dakota Johnson, Pedro Pascal, Chris Evans, phenomenal cast. When I say they nailed casting for this movie, it's unbelievable. Everybody fits their role so perfectly. Dakota Johnson's basically a matchmaker to the rich. Okay, that's what she does. It's in New York City. She meets the very rich Pedro Pascal, who just like checks every box.
Your guy.
Checks all my boxes too, okay? So I'm like, amen, girl, get him. And then her old love comes back into her life kind of all at the same time. So it is a whirlwind. Particularly the first half of this movie scratches like an itch for me. You know, when you're like, this is exactly the kind of like euphoria I love. Like I was so into it. I will say the ending, because here's the deal. It's like Twilight, baby, where you're gonna love one or the other, and she's only gonna end up with one person. She's only gonna end up with one person. Maybe it's somebody I didn't even list, okay? So it is like you had people leaving the theaters like, yes, that's it. And then you had people leaving the theaters like, no, she should have been with, and that's what's good about it. Like, actually, I went with one of my best friends, and we disagreed on who she should have ended up with. So it is good. It's a really, really good watch. And like, you do have this like, this whirlwind experience with her. It's a phenomenal movie. Her job was so unique to watch the way she dissects love. I think it's very interesting. Like as a matchmaker, she made it like she literally talked. She was like, I do math for a living. Like that's what I do. It's so interesting. Made me think like I could be a matchmaker. You know when a movie does something well when you leave, you're interested in the career. Like Top Gun did that. The show The
Top
Queen's
Gun?
Gambit.
Wait, slow down.
What?
You saw Top Gun and thought you could be a fighter pilot?
Yup. That's what happens when you're having like a euphoric experience. It's like you're like that could be me. Like that's what ends up happening. The Queen's Gambit, I think, like was like that for a lot of people, where they're like, I'm probably this amazing chess player and I don't know it.
Case saw Varsity Blues and thought he did high school wrong and he could have been a nerd quarterback.
I
That's
just
what I'm
thought,
saying.
yeah, I watched Varsity Blues and realized that I've lived my whole life as a giant loser.
Yeah.
Took that
Well,
movie
it
to
took you
do
a long
it,
time
huh?
for that. Could have saved you some time.
Could have saved an hour and 47
Yeah,
minutes.
I gotcha. So this movie made me go, well, I could do the numbers on people and have people end up together. Like, it's definitely a ride. I love when there's different careers in movies like this, because I just think it opens up, like, you see people focus on, obviously interesting careers and stuff like that. This is one I haven't really seen in a movie before, and I love it. I love the honesty and bluntness, because there's really not a lot of things that are more like raw, risky, etc. than dating. And it's just like, it's just a blunt, to the point movie when it comes to love and dating and why people get married. And it's super interesting.
Can I ask, so you got Pedro Pascal, and I like Chris Evans a lot, Captain America, old Captain America, Chris Evans.
Yes.
So is Chris Evans play the adult poor, and then Pedro Pascal plays the adult rich?
Yes.
That's tough. Both very handsome men. Very
They're
handsome.
both beautiful. They're both amazing. And
So,
there's twists to this, though. It's very interesting.
so you recommend the movie then?
Yeah, and the reason I cannot give more because the fact that I can't give a spoiler to a movie that's literally not in theaters, that is so unfair. It's not like you should have seen it already. Like, I have to be very careful when I'm saying this because there's no opportunity for you to have seen it yet. So that's not fair. But
It's like when
it's
Turtle
good.
and Entourage goes around when the Queens Boulevard movie, and he gives the spoiler out to get people to leave the cartoon movie to go to see Queens Boulevard with Vinny Chase.
There you go.
It's just
Thank
like
you.
that.
It's just
Thank
like
you so much, Brian.
just
Oh,
like
and I
that.
want to shout out because I was in the New City area, and then there's like a couple restaurants over there, right? And I went to Tecalitlan afterwards, which is a Mexican restaurant, and they are awesome. They're huge listeners. So I come in, I'm at the table with my friend,
right.
and Aiden walks out. I don't know if he was like the owner or manager. I'm not sure. Maybe both. And he walks out and he puts his hands on the table, and I'm like, oh, I'm in trouble. Like, I was like, he's like, so listen. And I'm like, we're getting kicked out. I don't know what I said, but we're going to have to skedaddle. I've seen this movie before. And he's like, I love Q101. You're Kenzie, right? And he was so excited. So it was really fun to walk over there. And that restaurant, it's actually very, very good. If you've never
What's
been.
it called
So
again?
It's called Tecalitlan. It is, it's a Mexican restaurant. It's right in that little New City Plaza.
Oh,
You know
I've been there.
It's great.
I've been
it's
to that
super
place.
good.
I didn't remember
Yeah.
the name of the place, but I've been there. I've been to the Mexican restaurant right near those theaters. I've been there.
Yeah, no, it is
really
great.
good.
So if you are in that area, if you're gonna go to a movie, or there's also like a bowling place over there, things like that, that is what I recommend eating afterwards.
All right. Well, let's give away these Halsey tickets. We've been waiting a minute for these. 312-591-8300. Call right now. Tickets for Halsey at Northerly Island. Call to win those tickets while you enjoy the head and the heart.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Lauren on the way in on this 90-degree day. It's going to feel a little desert-like. No humidity. It's beautiful. Get outside and do something if you can. Leave work. Don't quit work, but just say you're working and then leave. It's a better way to go. Get that paycheck still coming in. You can leave, Kenzie. You're almost done here.
Awesome. Love this.
Takeaways. What do we got from our listeners today, Case?
Jason checked in his takeaway. After today's news of the influx of hookers in the area, Brian will be taking a trip down to Randall Road tonight to get some gas to put in this car hole.
Facts. We learned a lot about Randall Road. Kenzie, what do you got?
My takeaway from Paul is if you're looking for a good time, head down to Randall Road for some Patillos and a hooker.
Let's just keep this going. Joe checked in from 630. Takeaway. Kenzie works Randall Road harder than a construction worker operating a jackhammer. Kenzie runs her errands on Randall Road.
I do.
We found that out today. It's a glorious place, a Xanadu, if you will. What is on the podcast, Case?
Well, we got to the bottom of what the hell Kenzie is doing on Randall Road. If you do not know that story, you can listen to it there. We also learned that if you're going to whip, you also have to nay-nay. A very interesting clash with Kenzie today. I feel like we all learned a lot about each other, how to whip, how to nay-nay. We're all better off for it. And also, in another learning moment today on the show, Kenzie and I learned what a floppy disk was because the FAA is finally updating from Windows 95 and getting rid of their floppy disks. It turned into a whole thing. I learned what Nextel was. We learned about old tech in ways that we never could have imagined. A very interesting conversation on the Brian and Kenzie podcast.
A reminder, tomorrow, Ticket Blitz Thursday is back, baby. Queens of the Stone Age tickets. We'll launch that at 8 tomorrow. It'll be every hour. But we launch it at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Ticket Blitz Thursday is back. It's not Beck, which is what I thought you said. It's back with an A, and
fair.
it is
Fair.
Queens of the Stone Age.
No, I think Beck either already played or is going to play Ravinia.
He's playing Ravinia. We don't have Beck tickets tomorrow.
No. I mean, we have them.
No.
We may have them at some point, but tomorrow's Ticket Blitz Thursday is all about Queens of the Stone Age. And every hour, starting at 8 o'clock, we will have those tickets for you. So put that in your phone right now.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.